The opinions expressed on the Custody Queen Show are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for personal, professional legal advice. The persons discussed are fictional and not based on actual clients.
Thought it was love, had kids in between. You can count on us, we're the Custody Queens. Yeah, you can count on us, we're the Custody Queens.
Happy Saturday, Go Country 105. I'm Sam McBride. I'm here with Kristen Holstrom. We are your Custody Queens. We are so excited to be here this Saturday and every Saturday at 8:30 on Go Country 105. Today, Kristen and I's episode is going to really focus on summer 2021. What to do, fun activities in Orange County, in Corona, Riverside, LA, and everywhere in between.
Yeah, and we all know how awesome summer 2020 was because we were all doing the same thing, locked up in quarantine. So this year is a whole new ball game for us. So we just thought we'd bring some suggestions, recommendations for you, for the whole family, and just get those out there.
So I'm really excited about it. But before we get into that, I think we should do our segment, Notes to Our Younger Self. So this is where Kristen and I give our younger mini Kristen and mini Sam advice. So I'm going to put Kristen in the hot seat first.
Mine is super basic. I would tell my younger self to wash off my makeup better at a younger age.
That's such a great one.
You know, it's something that I religiously do now, but as a soccer player growing up, I can't tell you how many times that, you know, you come home from practice at 9, 10 at night and just crawl right in bed without washing that makeup off.
That's a really good one.
You know, and I just feel like maybe it would have done me a little bit better if I started that, that tradition 20 years ago instead of 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I have a different one, but kind of in line with that, that just got me thinking, I really need to look in the mirror after I take a shower, because if I don't wash my face off completely, like I think that I do, but I'll just have like mascara running down my face, so I just have these like very serious raccoon eyes.
Yeah, Sam religiously has black dark circles from her mascara 99.9% of the time she gets out of the shower.
I just got it together with that. But so if I was to kind of think for this episode, a note to my younger self, I think I would probably tell baby Sam to argue, or to have conversations and think more thoroughly, do it smarter rather than louder. I think, younger Sam thought that I'm very loud anyways, no one's taking that from me, but that if you argue loud or more passionately, that does something for the argument. And I think it actually just distracts from your position. So I'd probably tell baby Sam to chill out and think before I speak.
Yeah, I'd tell baby Kristen that too. And I think that's just something that comes with age and maturity. I kind of came to that realization probably this year too. And I think that's just something that comes with age. But yeah,
and even transferably in the courtroom, Kristen and I definitely are aggressive and passionate, but sometimes there is a level where if you are too aggressive or too passionate, you distract from the point you're actually trying to make.
Yeah, you can come across as if you're defensive or you don't really know the issue that you're arguing that well. And you can definitely see a difference in the courtrooms of attorneys that are confident and speak passionately, but they're attracting attention for the right reasons versus the ones that are just loud and obnoxious and arrogant and condescending. Right. And I agree. And I think that, just like we were talking about, maturity brings these new, characteristics out in us. And I think that the more seasoned of an attorney you are, you start learning that you don't have to be the loudest. Now, I definitely recommend that you have an attorney that can speak confidently and passionately.
Right. Very, very different.
Because you don't want, an attorney that's just sitting there nodding and, kind of just getting rolled over either.
Right. Exactly. All right. So let's get into it. Should we pick a county and see if we can kind of narrow it down?
Yeah.
Maybe we start with Orange County.
All right, let's do it. And here's our disclaimer with all of these places that we're talking about. Things are changing weekly, with respect to limitations and requirements and things being lifted. So we're going to put these out there, but I highly recommend that you look at the website, you make a phone call before you go, because things that could have been true a week ago may not be true today.
Right, absolutely.
So Sam, you start.
All right, Orange County, I would say Balboa Fun Zone is a great place to take the family or just go on your own. I mean, the water's right there. There's plenty of restaurants, arcade games, and Balboa is just a nice, quiet little beach. I mean, if you go maybe half a mile up, you'll hit Newport Pier, and that's packed. If you've been there, you know it's true. Same thing with Huntington. So I really like that Balboa because it's a little deeper into the peninsula, provides a little more of a quiet kind of hometown vibe. So I definitely recommend that.
That is a good one. That's a great one. I love going down there. They have really good fried zucchini down there at one of the little shops that you can pop in with, buttermilk ranch. It's definitely one of those non-keto guilty pleasures, but I don't know why I just remembered that, but something I remember as a kid.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things to do with my kids, it's actually fun for the whole family, is to go to Irvine Railroad Park. It's over there. It's kind of off the toll road if you're coming from the Riverside County area, and if you're coming from Orange County, there's a couple different ways you can take. But if you go to Irvine Railroad Park, they have the train ride, which is super fun for the kids. I've been on that thing 100 times, and it's still a very relaxing 15 minutes.
Is that where we did the office party one time?
Yeah, it's where we had the big office party.
That was great.
It is. It's fun. They have those, bikes with the 4-seaters or the 2-seaters or the 6-seaters. Well, we went not too long ago, and I thought it'd be a great idea. It was like 90 degrees outside. And, I had all 3 kids with me, and my husband ended up, I started biking, and then we kept ending up going up hills. And so at some point I just gave up, and I look over what I thought would be a really nice family relaxing day, and my husband is just dripping sweat. He's mumbling under his breath. God, I don't think it's repeatable on air. But I thought it was very enjoyable and relaxing.
That's
all I
great.
remember is he was going up hills, like every other slope was a hill. And he's like, yeah, real fun, Kristen, real fun. But in addition to the bikes, you can, they have some water bikes too. You can feed the birds, you can feed the ducks. They have a zoo over there. Check to see if it's open. They have horses that you can ride, ponies for the little
so
kids.
Fun.
Yeah, my kids love riding the horses. And if they're little, they have ones that just walk. And if they have bigger ones, they can actually gallop, on the horses. But it's just a good day. They have events all year long for Easter and Halloween. They do an awesome thing for Halloween. And I know they did it for Easter, so I'm looking forward to getting those activities. But it's a great day. Bring a picnic. They have some food at the snack bar. But just make a day out of it.
Yeah. I actually remember us going there for a kind of work gathering, a big barbecue, and we played, I think, water balloon toss. And it was a lot of fun.
We had characters that came for the kids. I think we had Elsa and Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was a real fun day. And there was a moon bounce?
Yeah, you can, if you have a party there, a birthday party, you can have a moon bounce, a bounce house, as I call them, delivered to the park.
I think they are called bounce houses, but I call them moon bounces.
I don't know. Maybe they are moon bounce. I think maybe I call them bounce house. I don't know.
I love a good bounce house.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kid in me. Like, I get awkward if I go to, like, a friend's house and they have, like, a moon bounce or a bounce house for, like, their whole kids, because I just want to go in it so bad. But I don't want to, like, take anyone's kids out.
No, I remember one time I was doing flips in it, and I was an adult, but I totally busted my knee.
Yeah.
Those things never end well at adult parties.
All right. Okay, so what about Corona? That's, one of Kristen and I's basically favorite places. It's where our home is, for our work home. What places would you recommend in Corona?
Well, we have Glen Ivy, and that is definitely a mom's day. So husbands, if you're listening, boyfriends, if you're listening, a gift certificate to Glen Ivy for, your lady is so awesome. And I know at the time that I went, which is not too long ago, you had to have advanced reservations, and you you couldn't just show up the day of and, get a day pass like normal. So I don't know if that's changed. I don't know if it's changing in the near future. You can also get a cabana, which allows a certain number of girls at each, cabana, and you can kind of have a preset menu. I know that I love to do this for my employees and have a girls' day. We actually have one coming up very soon.
So much fun.
For all of our managers. But yeah, it's something that's fun, and you can get it. I think you have to get a service right now to get your reservations.
Yeah, so Glen Ivy, it's a hot springs, and so there's so many different things there that you can do. You can lay out. There's mineral baths. There's a clay kind of area that's a lot of fun. There's a grotto. There's massages you could get. There's a to die for restaurant. I mean, it's just kind of nestled away. I don't know that a lot of people really know about it, but it's one of, I think, the gems of Corona.
I love the hot and cold bath. It brings us back to our soccer days.
The Arctic bath.
Yeah, you go from 103 degree bath into a freezing ice cold, and you do it back and forth a few times. It's very cleansing. It's very spiritual.
We do. We pay to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you jump in the ocean. Every time you go, that first underwater is kind of takes your breath away for a second. But there's something so calming and cleansing about cold water.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also have Tom's Farms in Corona.
Tom's Farms is a great one. That's has a lot of. There's a furniture store, a candy store, a couple of restaurants. There's kind of like a wine and cheese restaurant where you can kind of get a slice of pizza and a beer and sit out back, and they have a little pond, and I mean, it's just a great place. They normally have face painting, and
yeah, they have some pony rides
I grew
on the
up
weekends.
at Tom's Farms, man.
Yeah, it's really cute for the kids, and what the parents love is you can actually go into their cute little deli, and they have some really high-end, really nice wines and kind of spirits and stuff, but you literally can take a wine cooler out and open it and go eat it on, or go drink it on the patio with some cheese and grapes, or they have a whole bunch of really good homemade delicacies there.
And I love that candy store.
My kids love the candy store. And they have chocolate covered gummy bears there, which is my go-to.
I'm also looking forward to the Norco Fair. So that's a good one. I know a lot of you probably know about the Orange County Fair and the LA Fair. The Norco Fair is kind of a mini version of the same exact thing, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm always down for a good fair. I was actually able to get my reservations for the Orange County Fair, so I am stoked.
The Orange County Fair is, I personally love the Orange County Fair because I feel like it is the LA Fair. I love the LA Fair, but I mean, it's huge. I mean, you could take several days doing it. The Orange County Fair is right up the street from where I live now, and it's just fun.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited the reservations because if you go, the end of July, beginning of August, it is 110 degrees out there, at least feels like that. And then you're waiting in lines for the ride. So I'm actually totally cool with the reservation system on a lot of the amusement parks because it does keep capacity down and it keeps it a little bit more enjoyable for the families and kids. But what's your favorite fried food at the fair?
Ooh.
Or chocolate covered. Either one. What's your favorite food at the fair?
I'm a drumstick woman. I have to get a drumstick when I go to the fair, but I mean, I like to try a little of everything. I try not to be sick by the time I leave the fair with the amount of food that you can order, but fair food's just amazing.
It is. At the end, though, everything starts tasting the same. My favorite is the chocolate-covered bacon.
Okay.
And again, just a bite, but also the corn.
The corn.
Oh, my gosh. It's like the barbecued grilled corn, and then me and sauces. I mean, it's like you got Parmesan cheese, you got a little light mayo, kind of spread across with the butter, and then the hot sauce and the lime. It doesn't always end well, but...
And they have a little rodeo, too.
Yeah, they have the rodeo for the kids, and they have a bunch of rides. I mean, it's one of those, I just love walking outside and smelling the food, and we all missed it last year, along with everything else.
Right.
So I am excited to do all this stuff this summer.
Me too.
And then we have Disneyland that's opened up, and we have Knott's Berry Farm that's open, and so all of those places that we've all missed for so long, just make sure you check out the details of the reservation system.
And sports are back on.
Yes, I am so excited to be on the sideline this year instead of wearing a mask in a corner under a tree, 100 feet from, my son who can't scrimmage because...
So exciting.
Yeah, I am, but you know what happens as soon as they lifted all this stuff? It's like we went from totally having freedom in our life to, okay, honey, can you take Brody to this place, and I'm going to pick this, and my assistant's going to grab
Back
Buddy,
at it.
and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa. But,
Yeah.
But you know what? That's life. I'm glad to have it back.
Me too.
All
Very
right.
much me too.
Sam, what else do we have in Orange County that's kind of like a hidden gem, that...
I don't know if it's a hidden gem so much as I think it's something that is just so much fun. I like to get on the water. So you can rent a little Duffy boat, you can kayak, you can do the stand-up paddle boards. I mean, and just kind of get out there and enjoy the day. I mean, the beaches get so crowded, which it's kind of nice to feel everything be normal again. But especially in Newport, you can kind of jump on Back Bay and get on a kayak, pack a little cooler, and just kind of float around. That's one of my favorite things to do, actually.
No, it sounds really nice. I like to do stuff like that, too. And then there's also the Echo Adventure Center in Laguna Niguel over at the Ritz-Carlton. And over there, you can connect your spirit to their larger global systems. But it's a good place to take your kids, adults, families, and kids, and you can learn through the experience. And it just gives you new respect for nature.
Yeah, that sounds actually awesome. I think I got to check that out. I haven't actually been there yet.
All right, Sam, before we get into other activities that are going on in LA, what was your favorite memory as a child that you did during the summer?
During the summer, I remember we would go actually down to my grandma's house and swim in the pool. That was probably one of my favorite things. We didn't have a pool at the time. But another thing I really enjoyed doing was going to the Palm Springs tram. I don't know if you've ever
I've never done it.
that.
I've wanted to, but I've never done it.
It's really awesome. And you can make it like a hiking adventure, or you could not do that. So you take the tram up, you can get tram tickets, and then you can eat at the little cafe, and there's just like a beautiful lookout point. Or you could like do that and then embark on a very steep climb to the peak, which me and my dad have always been pretty big hikers. Is so much fun, and I remember doing that all the time as a kid. How about you?
Was it hot at the top during the summer?
No, it was actually really, really cold normally at the top of a peak. But then again, my dad's waking us up at 4 a.m. too, because he wants to get to the peak before the sun sets and anyone's awake. But yeah, I mean, I love hiking. I do. It's like the whole way up, you're like so frustrated at how tired you are. But I think it's one of the most like worthwhile experiences. I love hiking.
It is good. Yeah, no, my summers, there was 4 of us kids, so there was always a lot going on. But one thing I remember is that my mom and dad had gotten us passes, summer passes to Wild Rivers, remember, over there. It was a smaller water park in Irvine, right off the side of the 405. And I was tall enough, to go on all the rides at the time. But we would go at least once or twice a month, and my dad would go on every ride with me. And my brothers were really young at the time because I'm significantly older than my brothers. But it was just a good time. They had those those water snakes that you could fill up with, the water. And it becomes a giant water balloon. Yeah. We would run around and spray those at everybody.
I love a good water park. I remember like going on the slide at Raging Waters so many times that like my back was just destroyed, like scraped.
Yeah. Oh, I love water slides. I actually, when I pick hotels to stay at, I always look to see if there is a water slide. Next, to see if the water slide is open. And then third question is, how tall do the kids have to be, to go?
Because that's one plus side to being 6 foot at age 13 is, I mean, I didn't have to be 6 foot to ride all these rides, but I think I was the first one of my friends that could ride everything.
Yeah. No, poor little Brody, who's like, a couple inches away that can never go. But, and then, or if you go to, Palm Springs, Palm Desert, there's the Westin out there at Mission Hills, which is one of my favorite hotels. Yes. And if you stay over at the villas, they have a really good water slide, and they don't have an age. If your kid is less than 42 inches, they have to go with someone who's a specific height, which is kind of funny because then my son can go on it, but I'm going down the water slide all day because he can't go by himself. So, it's one of those things, but just to see, I love water slides. I actually got an ear infection not too long ago from going down the water slide so many times.
That's great.
So.
So did you ever go off to like summer camp or anything like that as a kid?
I did. Almost every year for soccer, I actually got to go where you would stay, it was on the campus or the dorms of whatever college we did.
That's cool.
Yeah, we did. What's that? Vanguard University over there in Costa Mesa. So they would have a soccer camp every year, and we got to stay in the dorms for a week. But every year I went to a soccer camp. My dad was really big at that. But it's kind of funny you say that because I'm looking at summer camps right now for my kids, and I just was looking into the Corky Carroll Surf Camp, which is
cool.
5 days a week. They get to surf for 3 or 4 hours a day. But there's a bunch of summer camps. If you just Google, Orange County summer camps, it's amazing how many are open, and there is a camp for everything. Yeah. There's a camp for arts and crafts, for every sport. But my daughter's school actually, they have a summer camp, and it's really cool. Each week they have a different kind of...
That's really cool. I never did anything like that growing up, but I mean, it's definitely one of those things that I just think is so valuable and great.
It's fun, and each week they have a different theme. So one's arts and crafts, one's sports. So every day they play a different sport. But there's a lot of camps that are open and taking people right now. I mean, I just did a basic search the other day, and there's a lot out there, people.
Okay, so if baby Kristen could go sign herself up for a camp, where would it be?
I'd love to do one of those like adventure playground. Have you ever been there? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like an outdoor playground for kids, and you get really dirty and muddy.
That's
but
cool.
If they had like an overnight one where you could like sleep in a tree house or
very cool.
I was big into Girl Scouts until I was like in 7th grade.
So was I.
Oh my gosh. And I loved, Camp Sherman. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Those overnight camps were some of the best memories I have.
I loved Girl Scouts. I used to be so obsessed with my little patches.
Oh yeah.
I think I was in Girl Scouts for too long though. Like, because it's, what is it, like daisies, brownies, juniors?
I was in Girl Scouts until I think it was junior high, and then I didn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I think at one point I looked around and said, I think I've aged out. But actually, I don't think you really have to age out.
No,
I think
it goes
that there's
all the
some
way through
lifelong Girl Scouts.
Yeah, you could even sign up to be a troop leader.
I gotta consider
in
this.
your spare time.
I should probably have a child first though, so that it's not just Pam and me showing up, my dog and me showing up to Girl Scout camp.
Yeah, I did get one pity patch from Girl Scouts. The sewing patch.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a pity patch given to me because I am so not a sewer or anything.
I actually had like a disproportionate belief that sewing was easy. Because my mom's actually very good at sewing. She made my sister's prom dress.
Yeah, that's
just like a secret talent, but she just looked very calm sewing away.
My mom could glue for me.
But yeah, it's actually very hard.
No,
making clothes is hard.
Yeah, it's that was a patch that was given to me just because they loved me. All right, let's get back to it, Sam. Now, if you could wait, I guess before we move on, if you could go back to any camp, what would it be? Are you going to be in a treehouse with me?
A treehouse camp sounds awesome. I would also like to do, I guess, kind of back to the hiking thing. I'd like to do like a backpacking.
I did that.
Did you?
Yeah, me, my dad, my sister, and both my brothers. We went backpacking for 10 days through Yosemite all the way down to Mammoth.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Oh man, it was
Yosemite's
it was an
amazing.
Adventure. It wasn't anything like I pictured. There was one point where we heard the bears, and my dad had opened the tent, and the bear was about a foot from his face.
Really?
And he screamed, and when he screamed, the bear actually ran off. But yeah, we had the whole kit: bear cans, away from us, and everything was in the bear can.
Dane's always so overprepared too. It's great.
Yeah, and we were in Mammoth, and we were backpacking around Badger Lake, which is a lake if you take the high trail in Mammoth. And the water had to have been, 50 degrees.
Yeah.
And, he said, okay, whoever swims across the river gets $100. And I did it. And that water was so cold. And
Did you get $100?
I never got $100. Still on IOU. But, we did it. We've done it a couple times with the family. And it's memories I will never forget.
What about like a weekend trip? Where would you go on a quick weekend trip?
So my go-tos are, I love Mission Bay. I love San Diego. It's my absolute favorite. It's close for the kids. If you're going down there, Legoland's open. We've been there. It's on a reservation system. It's awesome. I love Palm Desert. I love all parts of San Diego though. Palm Desert, Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara's so pretty.
I'm a big Friday to Monday kind of trip girl.
Yeah.
Because then you can leave without feeling guilty, you know?
No, and it's nice to break up the week like that and just have a couple of days.
Yeah, and you know, I think that if you get anywhere, you get fresh air, you put the phone down for a little bit, and you truly are just present and enjoy it.
I'm working on not checking my emails.
Yeah, we're having a conversation not too long ago, actually, you know, this morning. And, you know, Sam's telling me, well, you know, I couldn't sleep, so I just wanted to make sure there were no fires. And, you know, it was midnight, and I look at my phone, and she's like, nothing was really happening. And I'm telling her, and I'm only sharing it with her because I have been through this for years. And one change that I made about a year ago, give or take, is that I don't check my emails after, I say 7, but reality it's about 8.
Right.
But I don't check my emails because, you know what, even if there's no fire exploding in my emails, my head starts thinking about all of the stress and the problems and my clients and did this happen to this client and did this get done? And then I have emails from my kids' schools and your head just starts spinning.
Right.
And even if there's no fire, guess what? You're not going to bed for another 2 hours.
Right. No, it's very true.
And then you start dreaming about those emails. So,
yes.
So, as a good friend, I told Sam, put down that
She told me to
darn
knock
phone.
it off, so it's probably really good advice. I would say if I was going to do a weekend trip, what I'm really itching to do is go to Lake Arrowhead.
Oh, I love Lake Arrowhead. I do.
It's so close, too.
Yeah, if my goal for myself is to buy a second home over there in Lake Arrowhead within the next year.
Yeah, and they have that nice little village and just the crisp air.
And you're super close to Big Bear, too, if you want to go. We rented a pontoon out on Big Bear Lake last year for my daughter and my husband's birthday, and it was so much fun. And that water was freezing.
And that's like around June, right?
Yeah, we went in June, but it was so fun. And then, you know, you make s'mores out in the backyard, and it's always a good time.
Very cool.
It's close, it's fun, and the fresh air, you can't get it down here. All right, so let's just go through a few things in LA really quick because we're running out of time. But I'm going to start with the Kids Space Children's Museum in Pasadena. They have interactive exhibits, including an indoor imagination workshop and a colony climbing structure and a greenhouse. So that is so cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and I think it would be good for the parents and not just the kids, too.
Yeah.
I've never been, so it's on my list.
You can also check out Tree People, and that's in Coldwater Canyon Park in Santa Monica. And Tree People offers nature trails and experimental education with the goal of teaching kids environmental stewardship. Daily admission is free, which is always great, but you want to check the website for special events. So that's something else to check out.
Yeah, and then you have the Last Bookstore, which is California's largest used and new bookstore. And the bookstore is part Harry Potter Wonderland and part Artist Loft.
Harry Potter.
And guess what? It's free
Harry
to go to the bookstore. So you can actually just go there, check it out. And, you know, we don't have any bookstores really left. So this is it. This is the last bookstore.
Isn't that crazy to think about? Because I remember growing up, I mean, there was a bunch of bookstores.
Mm-hmm. They were everywhere.
Now it's like Barnes and Nobles. It's really hard to find something besides that. So that's very cool.
It is. It's really cool. And then also in LA, we have the Sky Slide at the OUE Sky Space. And this is more for the older kids because you can indulge in interactive technology and acquire fun facts about films, TV, sports, and music history in Los Angeles while you take a 360-degree view of Los Angeles from the top.
Wow.
So that's something I would actually want to do.
Yeah, that sounds great. So that's just a couple of
Don't
places.
forget the Santa Monica Pier.
Well, I mean, you can't forget any of the piers, Kristen. The beach pier, what it would be, Santa Monica, and then Long Beach, Huntington, Newport, Balboa, on and on. You can go get a great bite at the Deck in Laguna. Mm-hmm. Love that place. I mean, just piers in general are a great place to go. They're free, obviously. Spend the day with your kids, family, friends. Dog-friendly beaches are very Sam approved, and
you know what I love about a beach day or the pier is it doesn't cost much.
Right.
You know, like everything that the kids always want to do, it's always money. So you have to figure out and budget, what do we have room for this month? And I just love the beach because you can wake up and you can decide to go. And, we have like a whole beach. I have a whole beach bag that's kind of ready to go, already packed with boogie boards and stuff. But it doesn't cost much. The only thing annoying is the parking. But, just go with the headspace that you're just going to have to drive around for a hot minute to find a spot.
Yeah.
But I pack my own lunches, I pack water bottles, and the kids truly have the best day. And then guess what? They fall asleep on the way home.
Yeah.
It's like win-win.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's always a good day. All right, and it looks like we are out of time again. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We wanted to do something that was just really in tune with where we're at in life right now. And it's summer, so get out. I know it's hot, but get out and enjoy the weather and enjoy your family and enjoy your kids and get out of the house.
And there's so many great things to do. This is just a few things that Kristen and I thought of, and we thought it'd be a good way to keep everyone in a spot where they're thinking of new things and trying out new things. But we really appreciate you listening to us this Saturday and every Saturday on Go Country 105 at 8:30. Make sure you check out Kristen and I's social. I'm at Samantha McBride. Kristen's at Custody Queen Kristen. Check out our Custody Queens Instagram, our Facebook page. You can check out past episodes on YouTube and on custodyqueensonair.com. And if you have a question for Kristen and I, feel free to DM us or give us a call at 1-800-419-7772. That's 1-800-419-7772.
And we will have all this information on our social media. So if you missed any of these places or you want more information of what is free or what any of the details are regarding this place, we will have this information. And whoever tags Sam and I with the best new place that we didn't talk about or that we didn't know about, I think we're going to have a little, just tag us, let us know, and we may have a prize for you.
That sounds like a lot of fun, Kristen. All right, well, thank you until next time. And remember, let love rule.